Okay, welcome everyone. Let's start lesson 3, which we'll go through in a few minutes. Thanks for joining. Let's see, now we'll start. Can you hear me okay? Okay, so our LO3, which is about being able to critically analyze the theories and the concept of tourism planning, which we'll go through. And our LO3, which is be able to critically analyze the theories and the concept and tourism planning, and 3.1, critically evaluate the different approaches to the tourism planning. 3.2, which we can look at the critically assess the external environmental influence and evaluate execution of the tourism plan. That all will be in our discussion today, which we'll go through. So tourism planning is the process of setting goals, selecting the clearance of alternative course of actions to achieve the objective and the goals, implement the chosen alternative and evaluating the choices to find it successfully. So planning is the key, the success of any activity. The tourism success is neither the guarantee and not permanent. So many areas have to be experienced the tourism cycle, which is starting for the few rich visitor and proceed through the series of expansion program and attend saturation. So we have to make sure when you plan, when we say planning is mean where you are, where you want to go for and to meet the required objective. So it's very, very crucial. So approaches to the tourism planning is based on the four different approaches of tourism, which we can look around the planning as the destination level can be recognized according to the value and the sport, the planning and the policies activities. So post-tourism, economics, physical, and community oriented. So these are the approaches we use. These are the four bases. So there are the approaches which is how added, the addition to the approach of the sustainability planning. So each tourism planning approach, differ in underlying the exemptions about, the planning and their strength and the weaknesses play in the tourism development the key role. So post-tourism is the one of the tourism planning approaches, that have the attitudes toward the tourism development and which is, inherently good and the will, provide the benefit to the host destination. So approach, also criticize, and we can look around the character side, the characteristic is being the part of the attitudes, that's the development of the growth is the good, and any negative impact of the tourism, which is development will, the dominant by the positive benefits. So we have to look around the from this approach, the perspective of the primary planning problem is one, how to attract and many people and possible to given the situation of the destination. So most tourism approach, which can be doesn't, take in the account of the involvement their host community, the process planning and the policies, and processes surrounding tourism development. So it is being adopted in the government and the politician to promote tourism growth and regional economics diversification. That is also quite crucial, which we need to be looking at. When we say boost tourism, the attitudes, approach towards the tourism development is seen as the given benefit to the host, and we have to look around the destination. So there is a concept like home and host country. Home where you're from and host where you're from, where you're doing the business. So that's, is quite crucial. The attitude towards the tourism industry is seen as the benefit of the host destination in the community. Living in the surrounding tourism development could improve the quality of the lives, that's quite crucial, which we look around the indirect benefit will also increase the job opportunity in the local areas in the country that boost tourism And however, the other hand, since the approach does not involve the resident of the tourist destination, the plan and the policies and their concerns, so we're not looking the stakeholders' interest in that sense, so planning, and therefore they will be encouraged, them to participate, and does not allow them to share the tourism, the benefit into void. So we look at the economics. The second approach, we can look around in the tourism. Really, we look at planning. Planning is, as we said earlier, the plan is mean where you are, where you want to go, impact of the tourism, and the most efficient and the cost effective, the tourism create the income and employment benefit to the rigorous and the community and the countries as a whole. The main strength of the planning approach, mainly we focus on the economics impact the tourism. It's believed that tourism development become the key driver of the economic growth, and of course, it's played a huge source of income. Like we look the Middle East, the way we look the Singapore, and we look the various other destinations, of the world, like Morocco and various other parties, play the key roles. We need to be look around those, in the income contribution and the government revenue. So we can look around the simulation or improvement of infrastructure investment and create, the contributions to the local economy. So yes, there are the weaknesses from this approach. This does not take into account of the environmental concern and the social issue, which means the limited attention given towards the environmental and the social impact of the tourism can be on the local community as well as the country. So weaknesses would be highly satisfaction of the tourist result in the tourism development, and the positive attitude toward the tourists in the host community are unknown in this approach. Then we look in the physical and which we can look around in this approach. Tourism planning consider the tourism as the form of the land use, the management use strategies regarding have the ecological base, the result and need to be development based on the certain patterns and the capacities and the threshold, to minimize the negative impact. That's really we need to be looking on the sustainable development. So the key planning approach, which would the prospective include the carrying the capacity as its risk assessment, resources and the land evaluation, resource appraisal, allocation decision. All we need to be make sure we have the validity of the points, and thus bring the cost and benefit analysis we have to do to achieve the key objective as the company. Otherwise, we can't really achieve those objectives which we're supposed to be achieved. So those we need to be look around in that perspective, including capacity as a approach in the control and maintain the capacity, land use, and which we can look around the number of the physical infrastructure being built and more can exceed the environmental and the social carrying capabilities and destination to minimize the negative environmental impact resulting from the tourism. So beside the plan is the physical destination with the structure design and the layout would also attract the visitor to visit destination, as can be provided the good and open space to visit, and other strength would be increase the protections towards the environment and use and keep sustainable living. The weaknesses of the approach is the number of infrastructure building capacities which we need to be being control, and economic destination is unable to maximize the profit as the result of inability to fulfill high demand tourism to build their attraction and limited attention also given to the social and cultural contribute destinations. Okay, so then next we can look around the community. Community tourism is quite approach which is focused on the social and the political context within the tourism occur. So we have to look around under this approach in the community. The first, the priority we can apply to the high degree of the public the participation, high involvement in the community. Strength is based on the approach in terms of the benefit which is likely to create the employment opportunity available in the locals and more community-based approach. project and positively improving the household income. That's the key contributor. So sustainability, which we had a discussion, sustainability being meeting the needs of current generation without compromising the need for the future generations. We have to look at that perspective. So approach seeks, to provide the lasting and the security likelihood and with the minimize depletion of the resources, environmental degradation, distribution, and the social instability. And also concern about, so intra gender generational equity, which is sustainable development, means which we have to look around and maintain environmental capital and maintain the strength of the sustainable development, the protection of the environment, the profit, meeting the needs of current generation without compromising the needs of the future generations. We have to look around environmental, economic, cultural, social factors to be considered, so ecological processes beneficially, opportunities for the future generation, ability to enjoy, some situation and know the protection of the human heritage, biodiversity, and all these we need to be looked at. Okay, next we're looking the tourism planning approaches, technique, systematic approach, comprehensive approach, integrated approach, environmental sustainability, community-based approach, implement approach, and systematic. So that's which we can look around. And when we saw approaches to the planning, systematic approach is required, adequate information about the system available, understand, analyze the computer technologies needed to be collected and analyze the data. In comprehensive approach, we need to look around the all aspects of the tourism development are in alignment, planned, on the broad scope, and integrated approach with the tourism planning, which we need to be developed. So we have to look around these approaches, always please, whichever approach has its own pros and cons, so you have to look around environmental and sustainability. So tourism is the plan which we have to look around, develop and manage in such a way in the natural and the cultural resources are not used upon. So like, the human resource, the farm, and the trees and cutting, and that can be huge environmental impact. So we have to meet those requirements as well instead of just focus on. So these are quite crucial because end of the day we need to be look around the long-term perspective, not just only short-term perspective. And the community-based approach is planning for the resident in the area. The local resident should be given the opportunity to participate in the planning and the community future development and express opinion, because the stakeholders' interest is very in the community in stake-based. It's a huge stake in all of the local communities. You have to protect their interests. So that is quite crucial, because if you don't, promote, that's which we need to be look around in those perspectives, because otherwise it can be huge impact, on the profit and the planet, So we have to look around in those perspectives. Otherwise, it can be huge impact. So we have to be look around in terms of implementing the approach, systematic approach. Tourism planning is based on the orderly arranged activities. Okay, so then please we need to think about the pastel analysis, because when we make any approach, we have to look around the political factors, we have to look around the social factors, we have to look around the technological factors. On the base of this, then we can decide which approach, then you can make your decision accordingly. Like, the political tax policies, like, recently in the finance sector, the government increased the national insurance for employees. We have to look around employment laws, so we have to look around employment laws, national minimum wage. We have to look around the dominant political ideology. We have to look around inflation rate in the UK, because we get consult ONS website, which is Office of National Statistics, exchange rate, economics growth, taxation, unemployment rate. Those we need to be look around at the moment is a 4.3%. in the UK. So these factors huge impact, our overall. We need to look around the social, education, living condition, trend, fashions. Like people are more on maybe on the internet growth of technologies. We have to look around people's social media impact. The good news and how the crisis management will be. All these, planning is quite crucial. The speed, technology, AI, artificial intelligence, data analytics. So we have to look around. Please, when we looking the organizations, we have to look around the tourism planning committee, and we have to discuss about the forum. We have to do the research. We have to do action planning in the and the objective of an implementation and monitoring control system need to be in place. If we don't have those in place, it can be huge impact in the long run and the sustainability of the policies which we are going to make. So we have to think about, and then we have to make it accordingly. So please, that's which we need to be carry on working on these, and we need to be working the best interest of these, all the projects. So they need to be flow information and the data accordingly, and we need a good plan and controls plan where we are, where we want to go, and the control is a corrective action if the plan not. So whatever the planning approaches we use the boosterism, or we use the socialism, or we use the sustainability. So we have to be look around the cost and the benefit in the short, long, and the medium term, and then that will bring. So I included some the three videos, so it's quite good to watch. Please, those are listening. So what you can do is just copy the link and go through. That will help to enhance your understanding about the different approaches. So today, please, we discuss about different strategies, approaches. We have the boosterism, economics, physical, and community oriented, and then we discuss about sustainability, meeting, systematic approach, comprehensive approach, integrated approach, environmental, community, implementation, and systematic approach. So these approaches we had a discussion, and we link the economics factor, how these impact. So thanks for attending today's session. And next lesson we'll go through LO4, and then we'll do a sudden discussion. And have a nice time. And please make sure you attend the lesson next week, or listening this recording if you can, please, and follow the schedule accordingly. And have a nice time. And if any questions, drop me email, and you get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you. Bye bye.